way in which your late sister made her own way, not just in life, but also in the royal family?
Yeah, I think they've consciously gone for a song.
Imagine standing beside the coffin of the most famous woman in the world, just hours before she is laid to rest, reading a final letter to her silent form, and realizing with absolute certainty that despite the global chaos surrounding her, she was entirely innocent. This was the haunting reality for Charles Spencer, the brother of Princess Diana, on the eve of a funeral that would rewrite royal history. But while the world prepared to mourn a global icon, a vicious, hidden battle was raging behind closed palace doors, a battle over two young boys, a forced public march, and a profound betrayal that would leave permanent scars on the British monarchy. Welcome to our deep dive into history's most captivating, unspoken moments, where we peel back the layers of public spectacle to uncover the raw human truth beneath. On September 6, 1997, the gears of the British royal machine turned with a cold, unyielding precision. Outside, the streets of London had transformed into a literal sea of grief. Millions of weeping citizens clutching flowers, their faces twisted in absolute sorrow, while billions more watched through television screens across the globe. It was a moment of unprecedented collective heartbreak. Yet, at the absolute epicenter of this global theater stood two completely defenseless children. Prince William was just 15 years old. His younger brother, Harry, was only 12. They were ordered to do the unthinkable, to march on foot behind their mother's coffin, exposed to the glaring lenses of thousands of cameras and the heavy, suffocating gaze of the masses. To the public, they appeared impossibly brave, moving with a rigid, dignified composure that seemed to honor the crown. But beneath that carefully curated, calm surface, a deep psychological trauma was being forged, one that would haunt Prince Harry for decades to come. But how did they end up on that public stage in the first place? The public was told it was a display of royal strength, but the truth behind how those two grieving boys were forced onto that pavement reveals a chilling level of manipulation. Charles Spencer had known from the very beginning that this public procession was a catastrophic mistake. He hadn't just known Diana as a princess. He had grown up with her, sharing the quiet vulnerabilities, the laughter, and the intense anxieties she routinely masked from the world. The moment Spencer discovered the palace plan to parade William and Harry behind the coffin, his protective instincts violently kicked in. To him, it was utterly unimaginable, cruel, unnecessary, and profoundly unnatural to subject two grieving children to such a ruthless global spectacle. He fought back. Spencer argued passionately with palace officials at every single opportunity, pleading that grief is a deeply private sanctuary, not a televised performance for public consumption. But the palace walls proved impenetrable. The establishment remained unyielding, executing their plans with a cold rigidity, until they dropped a massive bombshell that completely disarmed Spencer's resistance. They claimed the boys had chosen to walk themselves. This single statement changed everything for the grieving uncle. If William and Harry truly wanted to walk behind their mother, Spencer reasoned he had no right to interfere with their wishes. So, he stepped aside, feeling a momentary wave of relief that the children possessed the agency to make their own choices. But it was all a carefully constructed lie. The reality was far darker. William and Harry had no choice at all. They were children trapped in a rigid system, told exactly what to do, with 12-year-old Harry possessing absolutely no power to refuse the heavy hand of royal protocol. By the time Spencer realized he had been deliberately misled, it was already too late. The gears were in motion, and the march of agony could no longer be stopped. As the procession began its long, agonizing route from Kensington Palace to Westminster Abbey, Spencer walked shoulder to shoulder with his young nephews. He could feel the suffocating pressure of the cameras zooming in, searching for a single tear, a moment of weakness, or a crack in the royal facade. The world applauded the boys' incredible composure, but Spencer didn't see dignity. He saw deep, unshielded suffering. Every single step was a forced performance, an imposed responsibility etched permanently into the minds of two children who were denied the basic human right to cry for their mother in peace. This devastating experience would permanently shatter Harry's perception of the institution he was born into, leaving behind a profound sense of helplessness that would ripple through his entire adult life. He would later describe the walk as entirely unreal, as if it were happening to someone else entirely. A psychological defense mechanism triggered by a system that routinely prioritized public image over a child's mental well-being.
What do you actually know about the Princess Diana passing?
Well, not much really, apart from there's a shitload of conspiracy theories around it. But if what is told to us is true, then she died in a car crash in France?
Yes, in France, in Paris. But what if I told you that wasn't technically true?
Well, you'd be going into the conspiracy bracket, but go on then, here we go.
So the paramedics found her in the tunnel in Paris, and they worked on her for over 60 minutes. So she wasn't pronounced dead until after that point. Now, what is interesting about this is there have been a lot of medical experts that have reviewed the case afterwards, and they have said that there was a chance that if Diana had gone straight to the hospital within 15 minutes, for example, which was entirely possible, there was a hospital near there, that she still might be alive.
So why didn't they get her to the hospital quicker?
Well, this is the million-pound question, isn't it? No one knows the answer to that, and obviously conspiracy theories will start swirling right now. There's no logical reason why she doesn't immediately get sent to the hospital.
Could it not just be human error? Like, could it not just be like, we can't move her, we've got to try and operate on her ear? Or
yeah, but no one's operating her, you know, out on the roadside. If you need to do anything serious, any serious surgery, you take them to hospital straight away. So that's why it seems really weird to me.
Yo, when it comes to celebrity deaths in African and Caribbean homes, nobody died harder than Princess Diana. In fact, in Caribbean homes, the only white women they give a fuck about are Princess Diana and Celine Dion. In fact, the day that this woman dies, don't expect no cooking from your Jamaican mother for at least 2 weeks. But the day this woman died, I never saw my mum in such a hysterical state, blood. All I remember was one day my mum was just shouting, Diana, 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 hey, our Diana, our Diana. She said our Diana so much that I thought her first name was Our. She had me crying like a dickhead, bruv. Mommy, what happened to Auntie Our? What happened to Auntie Our? When this woman died, my mum cried like it was one of the man them. In fact, the only thing she was missing was the Hennessy to pour on the floor. I've been to some black homes where I've seen a picture of Princess Diana next to their grandparents. Like, you're alright, blood. How can the picture of Princess Diana be bigger than your wedding photo? I see certain moms with Princess Diana on the entrance of your house. Relax, bruv. She don't know you like that. She never did know you. She never did that. She never did know you, blood. One of my boys' mums from Congo, she's got her face portraited on her arm, tattooed. I said, Jesus, this is a bit extreme. Wickedest part of that story is that that's his mum's only tattoo, blood. And she got 4 kids, blood. What the fuck? I've realised Princess Diana is the only woman that all the women love, cause I can't lie. What Princess Diana was to women is like what David Beckham is to man them. Like, whether David Beckham bangs for the ops, doesn't matter. You're always gonna rate David Beckham, like, some way, somehow you're gonna rate it. But I know on my life, I can't be the only one that witnessed their mum cry when this one died. Like, see, she's one of the girls them from school. Bro, this shit happened a quarter chicken and 2 wings ago, blood. That's 27 years if you don't understand my lingo. And to this day, I ain't seen my mum cry as hard as that. I've not seen my mum cry as hard as that. And trust me, bad shit has happened since then, and we get through it because we are strong people. But this way, I'm still traumatized by it, fam. I know I can't be the only one, cuz. I know.
Diana has been dead for 28 years, and I'm still paying back the debt she left behind. I'm Camilla. When she died in 1997, I thought I'd won. It took me decades to realize that dead woman had already set the board. She agreed to the divorce on one condition, keeping the title Princess of Wales. As long as she held that title, I could never be called Princess of Wales. Even if I married Charles, I would only ever be the Duchess of Cornwall. What's crueler, she made a deal with the Queen. Camilla cannot have children. By the time I was in my 50s, the Queen finally allowed me to marry into the royal family.